Howdy tubes, welcome back to the Zach Life. So this is going to be sort of the interior part one. We're going to try to get the floor down. I may put up some interior walls. Probably not a lot happening in this particular video. Please keep in mind that these few videos here, these four sort of going to be grouped together, are not in chronological order with each other because they're all happening simultaneously. Working on the air system. I'm going to try to get the generator where it'll run in here, fuel lines, and get some fuel in the tanks. We're going to start on the electrical. I'm going to try to get an interior wall put up here where I can start with my control panel. We just sort of got a lot going on all at the same time. So these group of videos, this is like episode I think 19, probably 19, 20, 21, 22, are all going to sort of happen at the same month time span. Anyway, I'm going to start working on the floor back here. You got to take a saw and cut this extra insulation off where it's too tall. The floor is the first step, so let's get after it. I'm going to go ahead and put the plywood on the generator area. It's going to be temporary. I've got to pull it back off. I'll put a few screws in it. But I want to get it on there so I can get all the plywood out of my Suburban and go ahead and cut up the pieces I need, and I can throw away what I don't. I don't have a bunch of extra wood laying around. And it's fixing to get cold, and I want to seal it up or heat this place. I'll just leave it like that. I'm not going to put any screws in it. Alright, here's the first piece of interior wall. This is the inside of the bathroom. I'm doing a little experiment here. I made that a little too long, an inch. And I'm going to try to run that with a router and see if I can cut it off smooth with the pipe. It might be easier to do than having to cut all these exactly right, because unlike sheetrock, you can't, just get it close and then finish it off with mud. You've got to have the corners of these walls come out perfectly anyway. I'm going to see how this works. pretty well. Give it a nice finish and it's flush. I think I'll be using that every time I can. Camera went off. I just got this piece up here, but I got this little piece up and mounted the thermostat. Looks pretty nice. I had to pull this off. I'll paint a wallpaper this, but it's mounted for now. I'm trying to get this floor closed down. I know you can't sit very well. It'd be better if I stuck you out the door, but it's like 40 degrees and this boy don't put up with the cold very good. Yesterday it was 90, today it's 40, if you can believe that. Anyway, this next piece goes towards the inside, on the inside wall. I gotta get some more screws and I'll stick it in there. Well, I hope you can kind of get an idea what's going on here. It's hard to get a vantage point back far enough with a camera to see what's going on in such a small space. This was originally going to be the wall of the closet, probably still will. It's 19 inches from the outer door of the closet to this wall. The door to the bedroom was right here. The door to the bathroom was right here. These two doors sort of come to the same stud, if you will. And I think that would work, and I had, thought through this well before this point. But I had left this open area, like you walk in and there's just sort of this dead spot here. You probably can't see the floor. Yeah, so, this is the, the bed will be, this I have 2x6s on top of it, and it'll be sort of like the box spring of the bed. The actual frame of this and the mattress will come to this point right here. It runs this way and turns and goes this way. And I wanted to put the door back here. I'm just off camera. This is where I was showing the closet door, to give this sort of big open area to get dressed in. You sort of have a dresser right behind the camera there, nightstand, that kind of junk in the corner, stuff you need in your bedroom. And I'm gonna have overhead cabinets in some of this back here too. But this would give a good place to sort of, where you bend over, turn around, put your pants on, whatever. What I'm thinking about doing, though, is moving this door forward about a foot and eating up some of this space here, possibly even setting it at a slight angle. Because if you walk in straight, you're going to hit the bed. You're going to have to naturally sort of zigzag left, to this area. Anyway, I don't know. We'll go over that, I guess, when I get this closet built. But my next step is to build the closet. And I'm going to put, using cheaper plywood on the roof here, inside, and the outer walls will have this poplar veneer, or plywood, whatever it is. Let's do it. Alright, so I got this wood frame that runs all the way around it, or almost all the way where that junction box is. And it's got a gap. And I'll slide the plywood for the inner wall and the ceiling in this gap, and then I'll be able to run a screw through here, through the other plywood into this, and the same deal here. Through this and through that into that wall, or into this stud. And that'll keep this from being able to flex. And it kind of had this ugly 2x4 on the inside, but I think that might be better than having a possible gap, you know, where you push on it and you could open it up. It's just got a big fat piece of trim. Well, that dang old finger I cut off, the cold just makes that thing hurt. Golly. I think it hurts as bad now as when I actually did it. These two boards don't look parallel to me, but they're exactly right. 12 inches and 12 inches. All right, follow me here. This is the wall that splits the bathroom and the bedroom. This is the next stud. The door goes right here. Now this wall, and I don't know how well you can see this, is at an angle. And this is so you have more room up here to open this cabinet in the refrigerator. And then it pinches down to where you're just wide enough to walk through the door. This stud is lined up with this wall. The door is going to have to come off of this stud at an angle. And what I plan on doing is to cut the trim at an angle, and the trim is going to be the door frame. They're sort of one and the same because these walls aren't wide enough to put that actual door frame in. The trim is going to be cut at an angle like this. You know, the wall is up here. I'm exaggerating that angle. And anyway, that'll make it look like this wall is straight, and then when it gets to the door, it turns at the door, and when in fact it turns after the door. It turns it where the door meets the wall. Anyway, here's a 2x4 I've got cut. It's got an angle cut on it that'll fit perfectly in here. It's gonna be all the way at the ceiling. I'm gonna run a few screws in it, and this will give me something to attach the head frame of the door to. And also this wall is split this seam here. So I'm going to change these plans up a little bit like we talked about. So originally the door was going to be basically from here to here. And I've kind of got some wasted space here. I want to move this door at an angle up to here. And I'm going to put a small, another little full height closet that's going to go right here. And you can just see the width of it. It's like a foot deep and 8 or 10 inches wide. I didn't measure it, I just drew it out. And I think that'll be a handy closet to have, because I don't really have any full height area to put anything else around here. And I'm thinking what that will do is give me a place I can put a broom and a mop. I've actually got a little bitty vacuum cleaner that's in my old motorhome, and I think that it might actually fit in there too. It's an RV size vacuum cleaner. So on the inside wall here, my wall of the door is going to end up, right here. So now this is the outside wall. It's going to have another piece of wood in here. I want to take a 2x4 and lay it this direction up here, and I've got some long screws and screw it into this piece of square tubing that's behind here. And what that'll give me is a place when I lay this inside wall in here, it'll give me a place to put it. And it also will give me a place to screw into roughly where I want this wall. Well, I believe I'm going to call this video. We didn't quite get all the interior walls put up, but I've got to end it at some point. This has been a close to month project. I don't work on it all that often here recently. I've been busy, but I've spent a ton of hours in here just to get this little bit of woodwork done. This cabinet here, let me back up. So I'm terrible at like visualizing colors and picking out colors and patterns and types of floor and everything. And I'm not sure exactly what's all going to be as far as like what kind of material the cabinets are going to be made out of, like cherry or oak or whatever. And I've actually hired a little interior design company in town. It's going to help me pick some of that stuff out. I don't know exactly what's going on the ceiling or the walls. The easiest thing to do is put hardwood floors on the ceiling and the walls and the floor, but that isn't going to work. I think probably going to go with some kind of a wallpaper, real nice looking, real nice plywood, like something like we're using, and put wallpaper over it for the walls, and maybe like a cedar plank or something overhead and spray it white. But anyway, whatever material we decide that the cabinets are going to be made out of, will have the veneer of the cherry or oak or whatever, and staying the same. This will ultimately look like a cabinet. It'll have a sheet of this nice plywood here, obviously. The refrigerator sits here, but it'll have like a 1x6 and 1x4, 1x4, and 1x4, that splits it into like 3 cabinets. I think ultimately this will look pretty good. I guess that's about it. Next week, I think the next video I'm going to try to build this step, and it's going to be kind of interesting. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but I like anything worth doing is worth overdoing. And we're going to have a buddy of mine plasma cut out a step, and it's going to be on a couple of hydraulic cylinders. And anyway, it'll be pretty neat. But I guess that's it. Appreciate it. Appreciate you watching. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.